Hi everyone, this is Cameron from Steven Steel Gameworks, the War Room. And today, we're talking about Firefly, the universe, the show, the movie, and also the board game. I'm also, while I'm going to be talking about it, you can see some of the game pieces for the board game, which is what I'll be putting together today in my new box that holds Firefly, the board game. I hope y'all enjoy it, and let's get it on. So here's the game box. It looks great, doesn't it? Alright, so Firefly takes place in the year 2517. 6 years after what is known as the Unification War. The Unification War actually happens between what are known as the central planets and the outer planets. And, the outer planets were trying to gain independence. And they're known as brown coats. Of course, at the Alliance, the core planets actually ended up winning at the Battle of Serenity Valley, which of course is how the ship got its name, Serenity, in commemoration of this battle. The Alliance was basically came about when two factions, basically the United States and China, came together and they allied together, hence the Alliance. Formerly, they are known as the Union of Allied Planets. You have two main cities, or planets rather, that are like the centers of government and trade. You have Sihan, or Sinan, however you want to pronounce it. I don't know. That houses that's where the headquarters are for the trade associations and guilds. Whereas Londinium is the formal seat of government for the Alliance. There are 9 characters in the show. Malcolm Reynolds, Zoe Washburn, Hoban Washburn. As you can tell, Zoe and Wash are married. Although she didn't want to marry him at the start when they first met. You have Anar, Sarah, Jane Cobb, Kelly Fry, Daryl Book, and Simon and River Tam. Simon and River are actually brother and sister. Let me just briefly talk about each of these guys. So, Malcolm Reynolds was a sergeant during the Unification War, and Zoe was a corporal. They were in the same unit together, and of course, they had their own different styles of being a soldier. But it's almost like Zoe will follow Mal to the, most dangerous things ever. Of course, Malcolm is the captain of Serenity, and Zoe is his, what would be considered a first mate, pretty much. Wash, Zoe's husband, is actually the pilot of the ship. He was a pilot before getting onto Serenity, and Malcolm hired him. Zoe wasn't impressed with him, but apparently with his good looks and fine charm, Zoe and Wash got married. And Aura is what is known as a companion. I guess a companion is pretty much similar to a geisha. They're trained in all manner of things, like tea ceremonies, etiquette, intimate stuff. Jane Cobb he's a mercenary. He's the muscle of the ship. He'll do just about anything for money, and if the pay is good enough. Kaylee is Serenity's mechanic. She's also the most cheerful out of the bunch. Daryl Book. He's a preacher. He's basically he tends to get a lot of flack from Mal. Inara does too because of her line of work. Then there's Simon Tam. Simon Tam was a doctor. Is a doctor. He's very good, the best trauma surgeon, or one of the best. And River, the way Simon put it, is that River makes him look like an idiot child. She's a genius. And pretty much succeeds. She could succeed at whatever she wants to do and puts her mind at, or puts her mind toward. So those are like the main characters of the show. Of course, you have like some recurring characters on and off, but those are the main 9. And it's interesting to see how they interact with each other. So what you see what you see me doing here, I'm putting the ships into a holder, that will keep these things kind of like in place in the game box. This is a Reaver ship, and they're gonna move around according to these. You got rim cards here and border space cards. And so you have navigation cards in this game, which will make these ships move. And we have 3 of these Reaver ships. And you have the Alliance ship right here. And then you have the Operatives Corvette right here. is how they are going to look. Isn't that pretty? Alright. So, like I said, this is a game channel. We're talking about games. So that's sort of like a little bit about Firefly in the universe there. So, as I said, there are some games that are related to Firefly and Serenity. So, back in 2005, Margaret Weiss Productions published Serenity, which uses a system called the Cortex system. And for, to make things happen in the game. I'm not going to go into that. That'll be a different video going into that. And there's the Firefly RPG that Margaret Weiss Productions also published. And that uses the Cortex Plus system. Of course, then there's this game here, Firefly. And there's also a card game called Firefly Flux. And that's a rather fun game in my estimation. Alright. Firefly Flux. Oh, this one, it's a lot of fun. So, basically what you do, you start off with 2 cards. Everybody starts off with a couple of cards. Or 3 cards, rather. And you basically draw one, play one. And the rules of the game will change as you draw cards. It's a ton of fun. And there are several different other Flux card games out there. There's a whole line of them. Like, there's even a Monty Python one, if you're into Monty Python. And there's Firefly Online also, which is no longer available, unfortunately. But I never got around to playing that. I did play the RPGs. Those are relatively fun. And it could be really, really interesting. And like I said, this here is the board game that I got the board a few years ago, and I've played it. And there's this big old map of it to play mat, which is awesome. And it's huge, and it has a place for all these cards that you can lay out. And I really recommend it if you get this game and play it, and then and if you can also get the mat for it too. And basically the cards, there are 7. So we have these ships here. We have these several different ships. Most of the ships that are here are Firefly class ships, like the Serenity here in my hand. Then you have a couple of different ships, such as you have this cargo ship here, and this little fast, what is called an interceptor ship. In the base game, you start off with 4 Fireflies. And then you, I got a couple of other expansion ones, and which you have this one, the Jet Wash, it's green, and then the Esmeralda, which is purple. And they all kind of, the base ships all do kind of the same things. The Esmeralda does something a little bit different, and the Jet Wash does something a little bit different as well. And I actually recently got another Firefly, which I am going to be unboxing right now. And this one's called the Artful Dodger. This one I have not played with because I haven't taken it out. Let's see this here. Ooh, look at this. That is pretty. So pretty. And it comes with its own dice. The 6 on the dice that's included in the game has a Firefly on it. That's a 6, and 6s explode. What that means is that when you roll a natural 6, you get to roll one more time. Basically, you can indefinitely roll as long as you keep rolling 6s. Of course, that's not going to happen. Eventually, you'll get a lower number, and that's for the different skill checks that happen throughout the game, and it's so much fun. Let's see what this does. Ooh. Look at that. Looks like it has a bigger stash. Let's see. Let's see what kind of drive it has. Huh. Let's see, it has a range of 6. Yeah, so it looks like it can go a little bit faster than a normal Firefly. Okay, so the Artful Dodger, as opposed to some of these other ships, the Artful Dodger actually has can have a bigger crew. As it says max crew of 7, whereas the Serenity has a max crew of 8. Interesting. Interesting. Yeah. And I'll go over the different ships here after a bit. So you have several different what are known as supply planets. Silverhold, Osiris, and if you've seen Firefly, you'll know these places, most of these places that I'm talking about. So Osiris was the last one. Persephone, that's fun. Space Bazaar. Space Bazaar is actually the place where they went and got a certain hat and a certain body. We have Regina, which is where, or which is kind of close to where Patience is. Beaumont and Meridian. Alright, and these are the supply places. And then you have your contacts in the game. Badger, Amon, Duel, Harkin, Niska, Patience, Magistrate Higgins, Fantine Mingo from the movie, Mr. Universe also from the movie, and then you have Lord Harrow. Alright, here's the box, all set up and everything, ready to play. Thanks for everybody for joining me on this video. Upcoming videos, I plan on doing A Song of Ice and Fire, Battlestar Galactica, and Legend of the Five Rings. Let me know what you guys want to see as far as games go down in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and let's grow this community. Alright, cool.